think you just slated it. Thanks to, I forget which customer or, excuse me, viewer it was who said it's a slate, not a clapper.
I do like how you consider our viewers to be customers. We'll be like out to dinner, like last night for Father's Day, we went out to dinner and, our customers are helping. I'm like, no, man, they're viewers. They're friends. They haven't given us anything except for their time.
Yeah, the friends of Team Chefska.
Friends of Team Chefska, that could be.
FTS.
FTS.
Yes.
All right, so here we are, Monday morning, well, Monday afternoon almost. What we wanted to talk about today, you can see it in the title of the video. We're going to be talking about
used car values and what it means if a title was branded or salvage.
Look at that. We almost know what we're doing here.
Almost. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do a focus today on branded and salvage titles. And when you're Google searching the whole web trying to figure out, okay, what's the best possible price I can get on this Nissan Rogue? What was it that Chris was buying in that one video? Was it Rogues?
Yes, Rogues.
Yeah,
yes.
People just roasted the Rogue in the comments. I don't know if you saw that. The CVT transmission's really bad on it.
I did. Apparently, the Rogue is not a well-received vehicle amongst our audience.
So let's say you're searching for the cheapest Rogue that you can possibly find, and you find one that's like $6,000 under all the others. Okay, well, why is that? Check the title. So explain to us, Dad. What should we be looking out for? Salvaged and repaired titles, things like that.
Well, a salvage title means that the car was declared a total loss by the insurance company, that the cost of repair was greater than, I think, probably around 40 or 50% of the value of the vehicle, so they declare it a total loss. Uncle Kenny, who drives a 17-year-old Ford of some kind. I forget what it is, but it's a little one.
They don't even make them anymore.
Probably not. And somebody actually backed into it in a parking lot and damaged the right rear quarter, and it actually buckled the roof a little bit. And Uncle Kenny's car has probably 33,000 miles on it. It's garage kept, and well, it looked perfect up until that point.
Yep.
And the repair was like $3,300 or $3,400. So the insurance company gave him an option. They said, we can either pay to repair it, but it's going to be declared a total loss. And if you want to repair it, then we'll have to issue a branded title. Well, Kenny, keeping his cars forever, decided to repair it, and he now drives a car with a branded title.
And again, it's because
the
damage was more than 40 or 50% of what the car's value.
Yes.
Which his car might be worth.
Well, probably less than $3,500,
yeah, exactly.
But they paid to repair it, but he now has a branded title.
Yeah.
So what that means, if Kenny went to trade it in, and let's say the trade-in value on his 17-year-old Ford was $1,000, because it has a branded title, most used car appraisers would look at his car with a branded title and go, okay, $1,000, it's worth 50 to 60% less than what normal trade-in or wholesale values would be for that car.
So when you were appraising vehicles, FYI, we're planning on doing an actual walk around of a car, probably my car, and having my dad talk about how he would appraise vehicles when he was a manager. But let's just repeat that. So when you were appraising a car and it had a branded or salvage title, you're thinking in your head, whatever number I come to, half of it?
Yes.
Wow.
At least half.
Wow.
Because in order for a legitimate franchised new car dealer to sell that as a used car, well, you would have to disclose the fact that it has a branded title. And realistically, what's somebody willing to pay for a car with a branded title? Now, I will tell you, lots of people tried to trade in cars with branded titles, and they had no idea they were branded when they bought them because they didn't pay attention. And then, well, they kind of took it in the shorts when they went to trade it in, because it just doesn't have a great deal of value to a dealer anymore, because, the next person who isn't asleep at the wheel is going to say, I'm not paying full value or anywhere near full value for that.
Now, is a branded and salvage title, is that the same as a rebuilt title?
Same thing.
Same
it could
concept.
be. remember Katrina and major floods? Well, cars get flooded and get declared total losses, so they would have branded titles, and a lot of those cars get rebuilt and and make their way into the used car market, and there's unsuspecting buyers who purchase those vehicles and get screwed.
So how can you make sure that you're aware if a vehicle has a
Ask to see the title. If there's no Carfax on it, ask to see the title. Carfax will report if it was a branded title or a salvage title. They will report that, and there'll be a big red box that says beware branded or salvage title on Carfax.
Does AutoCheck do the same thing?
I believe they do, but
Okay.
but sometimes it could take months for it to actually make it to
Into
Carfax.
the Carfax, yeah.
So it doesn't hurt to say to the dealer, "Gee, is this a salvage or branded title? If the price is so much lower than everybody else's in the marketplace, you might want to suspect that the reason it's lower is because of the branded title." Now, the good news is, in Uncle Kenny's case, okay, because I know the car, and because it has so few miles, they should have never branded it as a salvage title, because the car was pristine.
Yeah.
And it was only because this big truck hit it in a parking lot. And I don't know how in a parking lot at 10 or 15 miles an hour you can total a car, but apparently you can when it's 17 years old and there's no comparable cars in the marketplace.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, so for example, you're doing those searches, you're seeing that something's super cheap.
Yes.
If it does have a branded or salvage title, would you recommend
Walking away from it as quickly as you possibly can.
I was gonna say, getting a pre-purchase inspection or something.
What for?
Yeah. Okay.
What for? What's the point? That branded or salvage title is going to stay with it forever.
So not only will your resale value when you go to resell it be low, but also there's potential headaches that you're going to endure by just simply owning a vehicle that's in
You don't know how
damage.
good it was put back together.
Yeah.
Typically, shops that buy those cars and put them back together, well, they're going to figure out a way to put them back together as cheaply as they possibly can, so that they can maximize the return on investment. So
That's a really good point. I mean, why else be in that business?
yes, so if you come across a vehicle and they go, well, yes, it is a salvage title, say, hey, thanks very much. It's been a real pleasure meeting you, and I've really enjoyed our conversations. And I look forward to, I don't know, maybe never seeing you ever again, and get the hell up and walk away. It's just, be the way I would do it.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Now, there was one other thing that I thought was interesting that we could talk about today that most people don't know anything about, and I'm pretty sure you don't either. And it's something that's called diminished value.
Yeah, I'm all ears.
Okay, so diminished value. Let's say you recently bought a 2018 used Volvo S90. Or 2017.
Yeah, why don't we use my car?
Used Volvo S90. And I know there's many, many members of our audience are going, well, why did you let Zach do that? It was a really nice car. It still is a really nice car. But let's say you bought one, okay? And then shortly after you bought it, you had an accident. And let's say there was, I don't know, $7,500 worth of body work that had to be done to the car.
Okay.
And what's going to show up if that body shop reports to, and that insurance company reports to Carfax, is that the car was involved in an accident.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Which means that when somebody goes to appraise it and they see that the car had been involved in an accident, whether it's on Carfax or not, there's ways to tell if a car's been in an accident. And a good appraiser can feel the paint, look at the paint.
Maybe we'll do that with
your car.
Yeah.
They could actually use a paint meter that measures the thickness of the paint on all different panels, so that you see if there's ever been any paint work done. So if there has been, then, well, that's going to decrease the value of the vehicle. So if somebody hits your car, caused $7,500 worth of damage, and the insurance company pays to take care of that damage and repair your car, you have a right to say to the insurance company, Well, what about the diminished value of my car now? The value of my car is worth less than it would have been had there never been an accident, had somebody not hit my car.
That's really interesting.
Okay, and I know I used to have to write letters on behalf of customers whose cars were hit, explaining as a I guess an expert witness, as somebody who appraised cars for a living,
Yeah.
how this negatively impacted the value of the vehicle. So, how much less would you have to sell your car for, or would the dealer have to sell your car for, because he'd have to disclose the fact that it had $7,500 worth of body damage than a car that had none?
So if the rule of thumb earlier was 50 to 60% for having a brand or salvage title, would it be like 25, 30%?
15 to 20%.
15 to 20%?
Yeah, depending on the amount of the damage.
Sure, yeah.
But if you have a car that was $37,000 and it had $7,500 worth of damage, how much less are you going to have to ask for that car in order to get somebody to go, okay, I'll bite.
Yeah,
I see it was in an accident. I know it's been repaired by a shop that was qualified to do the work, but still, I'm not paying you the same as if it had never been in an accident.
So does the insurance company then reimburse for an aspect of that diminished?
They'll fight you. They'll fight you tooth and nail. They will. They hate diminished value. They don't like to admit diminished value. They don't want to pay you for diminished value. Some insurance companies even put it into their insurance policies that they won't pay for diminished value. Well, then what the hell are you paying for the insurance for?
Yeah, so I guess that's another thing to keep eyes on when you're signing up for your insurance policies.
Absolutely.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, diminished value. I used to write a lot of letters. I used to fight on behalf of my customers in a lot of cases to get them more money than just the repair. Okay, the insurance company might have paid the $7,500 for the repair, but there might have been or should have been another $2,500, $3,000, $4,000, whatever it was, dollars to go to the customer, because his car is now suddenly worth less, $2,500, $3,000, $4,000 less than it had been prior to that accident.
Wow.
Yeah. These are little tidbits. Tidbits, I'm telling you, valuable little tidbits that you can get from me because, well, I did this shit for 43 years. And trust me, folks, I know nothing. There's plenty of you who suggest that.
Well, okay, so we hit on salvage titles,
Yeah.
branded titles.
Yes.
We're going to do a video, unless people put in the comments down below you're not interested in this. We were going to do a video of really walking you through an appraisal, like literally with my cars, so that
Yes.
because that all ties in with this as well.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, if there are any,
what an appraiser looks for, what an appraiser listens for,
yeah,
how they measure tires, how they get on their hands and knees and ruin their suits, looking for different things that might indicate
how
issues
many
with
dealerships did you work at where you had to wear a suit?
too many.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember working at the Nissan dealership not far from here and wearing suits and ripping a pair of pants when I was crawling underneath a car, or I got in a car and the spring was just ripped my suit coat, and I literally I said to the guy when I got out of the car, I said, "Was anybody killed in the accident?" He goes, "Well, actually, yes."
Oh
my God! Yeah. So, I stopped wearing suits after that because I thought, well, what's the point of ruining good clothes when I'm getting in these?
You're nuts, man.
Oh well, shit happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Thank you, Dad. And,
I take it that's a wrap.
we'll be back tomorrow.
Okay.
Sounds like a
you
plan.
want it on whole wheat or flour?
That was a dad joke.
Sorry.